Hey y'all, it's me again, coming back to you with another album reaction. This is kind of part two. Um, we're doing this Brat, but it's completely different, but also still Brat. So this is the one that has the mixes, right? Mixes?
Remixes,
Yeah,
different
remixes.
versions because they have features.
Okay. So this is the everybody. I have Bodie on the line with me today. Say hi, Bodie.
Hey y'all.
So this is going to be a mix album of the same songs, just different versions. Was there any new songs
hmm
on it?
No, just different versions basically.
Okay. So we will be starting off with 360, this time featuring Robin and Young Lean. Anything you're looking forward to the most out of this voting?
Well, first things first is that I'm looking to the album in general because of the features
Hmm.
and the different mixing within it. Because this was one of the anticipated albums for me.
Well, good, good. I hope it lives up to it. We are going to jump into it now. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the video, about the album, about her doing all these different releases. What do you think? Um, but we will jump into it and see what thoughts we have. Here we go.
There's
Yeah.
there's one thing to note though, it's some songs still kind of remain the same. They just feature
Hmm.
different new artists on them, but still remain the same mix. So
Okay.
calling it a remix album isn't exactly accurate, but there are a couple of songs that have been, extended or, you know, um, vice versa.
Okay. Well, let's
But
take
yeah,
a listen and see what we got. All right. Let's jump into it.
dancing on
So
the road.
they added lyrics or they changed some lyrics up for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Kylie.
So, what did you think of this one?
It was fun. I liked the fact that that Robin and the other one was on there. I want to say Kings of Leon, but I know that's not right. Um, it was good. I didn't realize that there were going to be new lyrics and stuff. I guess it makes sense if you're
Mhm.
featuring people to kind
Yeah,
of cater to that. But I thought that was really cool.
yeah, that is exactly one of the things that I'm looking forward to is the new lyrics, the
Hmm.
different perspective. And the lyrics are written specifically, for the artist, like you saw with Robin. She, since 1994,
Hmm.
dancing on their own, just doing those constant references. I will say, so this was released before, as one of the singles. I will say that my only disappointment with this one is that it's still the same, like the same mix and everything, but also like doesn't. I just feel like there was no innovation
Mm.
when you compare it to the first one, because even though it had, Robin and Young Lean, like I thought they could do more with it, but I just feel like I'd rather listen to the original.
Mm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how many of these are going to make you feel that way. Um, okay, so this next one, Club Classics, featuring BB Tricks. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing. kind of touching upon that, whether or not production starts changing a little bit. Because like you
Yeah,
said, it was basically the same thing. It was just, the additional lyrics with the additional features. But can the production kick in and give us a little bit of extra? Um,
exactly.
so hopefully so. Hopefully so.
Hopefully. I know that some songs might retain the same mix, but we have heard a few songs that have different mixes, and some songs that will sound completely different. So excited for
Hmm.
that.
All right, here we go.
Like unapologetically.
Hmm.
Feels Sophie.
I can't tell if that's Spanish or Portuguese or.
Hmm. We're going places.
If y'all can see Bodie, he's just jamming.
Okay, so a complete 180 from the first, from the original,
It was
and
definitely sped up. It was a lot more hard. It
a lot
was.
more hard, a lot more
Hmm.
experimental. Like I said, very Sophie-esque. And
Who
I'm
was
seeing
the
here that it
producer?
was the producer. It's George Daniel, the her fiance. I know some of the songs that he produced for her, and I actually really like them. I don't know. I feel like this one might be a grower because I really did like the last part. It was kicking ass.
I like
But
the Spanish or the Portuguese. I always enjoy a song when you throw that in there. But
yeah,
um, it was
Ocean Ocean.
it was a little dance club. It definitely,
Very,
yeah. Like I could see myself. Sorry, my nose ring is getting
totally.
twisted. I could see myself on the dance floor with it.
Mm-hmm. Me too. All
Okay.
right. This
Sympathy
one
is a
is,
Knife featuring Ariana Grande.
yeah, this one uh, I'm looking forward to. Actually, excited.
Oh, fingers crossed, because I've got a love-hate relationship with Ariana.
I'm liking this one so far.
I am too. I'm loving this outro.
Totally. I like a good switch up. All right. So this one, I really liked it.
I really liked it too, but did Ariana have a verse? Or
Yeah,
was
she
she
had a
just,
verse.
she did have a verse? I
She had
couldn't
the
tell
second
the difference because I was listening too much to the music, to the production.
verse.
And then at one point I was like, wait a second, have I heard Ariana? And then I was like, well, I think she's harmonizing, but did she have a verse? And I had
She,
just totally missed her verse.
yeah, after the verse, she just continued to do backing
Hmm.
vocals, or sorry, backing, harmonizing.
Hmm.
She was just, harmonizing the back. But one thing I'll say about that track is the mixing and the production was so good and so smooth. Like the transition to her verse was done so well that it just flows
Hmm.
organically. So I really like that.
Yeah, that's what I was paying the most attention to was the
Mm.
production and the instrumentals because it was definitely an interesting take on it. And it's one that I'll go back to for sure.
You do like the original, so
Yeah,
and
this will give me another Ariana song that I can technically say that I have hearted.
yeah,
Um, Okay, so this one is
Yeah.
I Might Say Something Stupid featuring the 1975 and John Hopkins. I don't know any of these people.
One thing I'll tell you about this. So, just a reminder, but the original version was only, let me see, original version was only a minute, and it was only a minute and 49 seconds, which I thought was so criminal because I really liked that song. That should have been longer than that,
And how
like
long
three
is it
minutes at
now?
least.
It's over four
Mhm.
minutes long now.
And now it's over 4 minutes long. So bring it on.
That's crazy.
Um, yeah, that's what I'm excited for because I need that extension. I need that.
It's like they added a whole nother
Yeah,
song and then some to it.
exactly. Yeah, and I'm hoping that's not just because of the features, but also because there's more.
Hmm.
But but yeah, I don't know John Hopkins. I don't think, but I know that the 1975 is this band led by vocalist Matt Healy. So, but I'm not really familiar with either of their music. So,
Hmm, okay. Well, let's jump into it and see what we think.
yes.
I could say something small.
This production's awesome.
Right.
I get so cold.
So this is Matt Healy from the 1975. I'm assuming John Hopkins might be doing the piano, maybe.
This is such a vibe.
Very off to a good start so far.
Happens to lots of guys. Medicine makes him a problem. I'm famous, but I'm not quite.
Wow, I really liked that. Like, I don't know if it's something I want to go back to all the time because it's a total vibe, it's a mood that you have to be in. But I really liked that.
Totally. And I will say that it sounded more like a 1975 song because I've heard of maybe one or two, but that's I do remember that sounded a lot like what we just heard. So it sounds more like that. I would say my nitpick, not really a problem, but my nitpick is that we still don't get a lot of lyrics,
Yeah.
just like the original. And because it's still very slow, very you know vibey, I guess. Um, it still feels kind of what's the word? Like didn't give me all that I wanted. Kind of like the first one, but this is obviously better because it's longer,
Hmm.
right? So yeah, compared to the first one, it doesn't feel like it was cut short.
Yeah, and it feels like it was more baked, like
More.
they had more time to put, effort into
Yeah.
it. Um, I thought it was really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me of like um Enigma sound in the beginning, or
Very.
Enya if you wanted to go more soft. Um, but it was a really good song. I really liked it. So I'm hoping that this continues on that journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
You
So this
ready
next
for
one,
Talk Talk featuring Troy Sivan?
oh
Her
hell
and
yeah, I love
Troy,
that song.
her and Troy love each other, I think.
Very.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
the Sweat
besties.
Tour, to definitely like the
I
Sweat Tour.
so wish I could have gone.
Yeah, I feel like I just missed out on something very big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
this one features Troye Sivan plus Dua Lipa.
Oh,
So just putting that out.
interesting. Okay.
Hay una fiesta en mi casa. Vengan. Será muy
Let's
divertido.
do it.
Are we getting too close? You're leaving things in my head. Okay, here's the plan. I wanna fly you out to Amsterdam. I gotta get her to fuck you and I
Oh.
Sounds like something I would do. It's about to drop.
okay, here's the plan. I wanna fly you out to Amsterdam. I gotta get her to fuck you and I wanna come see me. We can fly straight to Johnny and let your arms around me.
Okay.
First of all, my apologies for the chihuahua in the background screaming and barking. I don't know why she's gone so crazy lately, but she has. Um,
Bigger.
what did you think?
Well, another single that was released. I really loved that one. Easily one of my favorites. And this was to promote, the this upcoming album and the Sweat Tour, which they embarked on. I really loved it because again, it the lyrics it was brought from Troy's, you know, latest era, his latest album. Like this, the lyrics are very similar to those, on something to give each other. Like the theme is very much similar. So kinda is made for both of them now, and the production is different. So points for that too. Um, what else? Yeah, I noticed the producer for this one is Zone, Zhone. He was the same one who did Joyride and one of Adam Lambert's
Hmm.
songs. Was it Wet Dream?
Hmm.
For actors.
Hmm.
So I really like what he's done with this song too. I'm not sure if he did the original, but this one sounded different. So I'm assuming he exclusively made this, new mix for this song. But yeah, I really loved it. What did you think?
I thought it was good. I enjoyed Troy. Um, I think the lyrics were good. The lyrics were better than what we've been seeing in some of the other songs.
Hmm.
Um, I really enjoyed it. I thought it had a great vibe, great production. Um, certainly one that I'll want to go back to. Yeah.
Certainly, it's certainly one that um, like I can relate to because I've been there, I've done that, and there's nothing I would love more than to take Troy to a hotel and pop shit to Charlie.
Oh, Troy, he's gonna have to get a restraining order out against you.
Not just me, honey.
Okay, so the next one is Von Dutch, A.G. Cook remix featuring Addison Rae. So I just did an Addison Rae video in case you didn't know, so go over and check that out when we're done if you want. This should be a really good mix, I'm hoping.
Yeah, yeah. This was the first one to be released, I think.
Was it?
And yeah, and I one of the things that I love about it is it's a different mix. Doesn't sound like the original, mainly because we have Aja Cook here
Hmm.
instead of the original, which had I think Easy Fun, another producer of Charlie's. So yeah, different mix.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Let's jump into it. And there's lyrics.
I'm just living that life on Dutch cult classic that I still pop every time my track drops. You're jealous. I'm just living that life. While you're that life. All these girls are like, can I get a picture? And then they go online like, just kidding, I hate you.
do you think?
Um, that one to me, it's just a flossing song, you know what I mean? It's just braggadocious about, I'm a celebrity and I'm just living that life.
Hmm.
Um, but it's a fun song. It's a fun song. It's just not my favorite, but it's a fun song.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually it's obviously one of my favorites,
Is
which I
it?
guess this whole album might end up, a lot of these remixes might end up being, you know, favorites because that's just me. I'm just living that life. But the thing is, this one just does, what the first song did, like, with the flossing and everything, but it's just totally extra because you have Addison and,
Mm-hmm.
it's just more straight up in your face. Like wrote this in the studio, etc., etc. It's just
Mm-hmm.
laying it on a plate. And one of the iconic things about this song is obviously the scream. It went like viral, I think,
Oh, did it?
and it was yeah, and it was a total improvisation. Is improvisation? Is that the word?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it was totally improvised in the studio. Like Addison just went, like that, and it was one take, and that was it. It was in the mix.
That's
So
awesome.
I love, yeah, and I love that. And AJ Cook's production is just chef's kiss. So can't complain that one.
Yeah, it was good. It just wasn't my favorite.
Mm,
Solely because, we've heard that
yeah,
theme, so
multiple.
much from almost every pop star that comes out. Like they all write a song about how, they're just living that life. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but for what it was a good song. It had some really good production. But yeah, it had a really good production, so I enjoyed that. But just not my
Hmm.
favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, so Everything is Romantic featuring Caroline Polachek, which we've heard some Caroline Polachek. I still don't really have my mind wrapped around her, but we've heard some, so this will be good.
I love Caroline.
She's another one of the hyper pop artists, right? She does a little
Yes,
bit of
but
hyper pop mix in.
yeah, she does some hyperpop, but also the thing with Caroline is that she does hyperpop, but she also has a really good voice that, like, she doesn't need all the vocal effects or anything. Not saying
Hmm.
that Charlie doesn't have a good voice. I'm just saying that Caroline likes to put that, on the front compared to Charlie.
Be
She
more
tends to,
focused on the
yeah,
vocals. Yeah,
yeah, because she really does have a strong voice.
and I feel like if you are a strong singer, then you definitely want your voice to shine sometimes because
Yeah,
you work hard on making that voice good, so you want it to shine. I'm looking forward to hearing this though.
me too.
All right, let's jump into it. I'm loving these layered vocals in the back.
Oh yeah.
Living that life is romantic, right?
Okay.
So that one could have really benefited from having lyrics. Um, so I could have read them because I didn't catch all the lyrics on there. Um,
Yeah, and I didn't look at the lyrics on Genius.
yeah, so I think it would have helped if I could have read those. Um, but it had a
Hmm.
really cool vibe to it, and it was very ambient, very, I don't know what the word would
Hmm.
be, but um, it had kind of that somber feel, but it wasn't a church or it wasn't a funeral march or anything like that, but it had that somber sound to it. Um, But the vocals that she was doing in the background at the end, I thought were really,
Mm,
really cool. I liked those. I thought they sounded great.
yeah, I agree. Um, that's the thing about Caroline that I love the most is her harmonizing is just lovely. Like she can just do that for an entire song.
Hmm.
You know, love it. Like I think like she has an operatic voice, and I think she did like one track where she was singing like an opera or something, or some part of it. I'm not sure, but she has that. She has those pipes.
Is she like
So
classically trained?
maybe that's the thing. I'm not familiar about her history, but
Hmm.
I do know that she like has a really good voice, and making music for her is just as personal as any other artists. I will say the song was changed, not changed, but it was made for her, or like was changed for her. Like now it just sounds like a Caroline Polachek song, you know, because it has her sound featuring Charlie XCX, because Charlie was like had only like a few lyrics, and
Yeah, she played
it was
second fiddle for
mostly
sure.
yeah, and it was mostly Caroline. So I think it was featuring Charlie, not Caroline, because
Yeah.
this one was a Caroline song. So yeah, I like that we have this version, complete different version, where if you want a Caroline Polachek song, just go for this. If you want the Charlie one, then you just go to the original.
Hmm.
And last thing is the lyrics. You get more compared to the original, of course. You get more like so you already have the Charlie lyrics from the first song, but you also now have Caroline's, which add more to it. So and they're not just your typical lyrics. Like
Hmm.
there's a story there. So I'm definitely gonna go back to and read those.
All right. Next one is Rewind featuring Blade. I assume it's just Blade, or is it Bladey, or but Blade. We're gonna go with
Maybe
Blade.
Lady.
I love a good bass line.
Sometimes I just
You
wanna
love a good what?
rewind
A
back
good
to
bass
that
line.
time, to a
Oh yeah.
different time. Oh, sometimes I just rewind. Yeah, bring the beat back. Press rewind.
I'm liking the reimagining,
Press rewind.
you know?
Me too. Ooh. All right.
Um, so that was okay. It was good. It had a good vibe. The bass was really cool. I liked that bass line, especially in the beginning. Um, it was okay. It wasn't a bad song. It's not one that I'll be singing in my head or thinking about tomorrow.
Yeah. It was good. I still think the original beats this one
Yeah. But
easily.
it's a cool reimagining. I'm liking the
Totally.
spins and changes that they're making to these songs.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same mix, just slightly different.
Hmm.
Like it just maintains the feel. It doesn't do a switch up until like the last few seconds. But it's mostly just retain that same synth wave, or whatever you call it. Again, I love that we have new lyrics, because it just feels like an extension. So this is like Rewind Part 2. You get more depth into what Charlie's feeling,
Yeah.
or Blade, Blady. But yeah, I still think the original's my go-to. This one.
Well, up next we have So I featuring
Mhm.
A.G. Cook. So let's see what this one sounds like.
So this is more than 1 minute longer than the original,
Oh, wow.
and I think it's the longest song on the album.
How long is this one? 440.
Almost clocking at 5 minutes.
Well, you know, one of my biggest complaints about the original album was the runtime, and
Mhm.
that's really been fixed on a lot of these. This has such a space vibe,
Mhm.
even with the space laser sounds.
Yeah, this production is a tribute to Sophie, since the song is about Sophie.
This production hits harder than most the album
Mhm.
has, and I really like it.
Wow. Okay.
That one
Yeah.
did have more of a hyperpop Sophie sound to it. Um, that's that A.G. Cook, I guess, really helping out. Um, but it had a very trancy vibe to it.
Mhm.
Church, I don't want you up here right now. What did you think about that?
I thought it was a pretty good track. Again, different from the original, but also maintaining the same feel and vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just love whenever AJ Cook is producing. Um, yeah, and like this says featuring AJ Cook, even though he's just producing, but he does so much to the track that his
Stamp is all
influences.
over it.
Yeah, it has his fingerprints, and AJ Cook is one of Sophie's closest friends, so
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't um, I couldn't have imagined it any better. Uh, the only thing that kind of threw me off was that, well, the first verse was like a diary, right? And this is uh, what Brat, sounds like. It's just a diary of thoughts, which is cool. I just think that this with this song, especially the second verse, it was just like continuous thoughts. Like they just wanted to fit in all of these like stories, because they're all just a bunch of you know um, journal entries to me. Like she's talking about Zoom, a Zoom meeting in 22,
Mm-hmm.
talking about um, where is it? I think it's here. My ex boyfriend played your SoundCloud. That moment really changed my life. Like these moments from Holly's life, which is cool. I just thought that they were crammed like into this verse,
Mm-hmm.
without like a breather, and it kind of made me go crazy because I was trying to trace the lyrics on Genius, and it was driving me crazy because she's singing so fast. So I kind of wish they were spaced out more so that I can absorb it more
Mm-hmm.
easily. But hey, it could be a grower.
I completely hear you on that. I don't know. I do. I completely hear you on that. I think that it could have been given more time to breathe, to, you know,
Mhm. Were
grow
you a-
and to. Hmm?
were you able to catch up with the lyrics?
No, because there was no lyrics on here, so I couldn't follow them, and I was trying to listen into them really hard, but I didn't get them all.
Yeah,
Um,
it was so fast.
that's why
But
I
I
say
like
I think this album would have done really well today if it had the lyrics for all the songs.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that even though I feel like the verses were rushed, I like the lyrics because they are just again so raw, so almost personal. Because
Hmm.
she's even mentioning these names um like when we took BB down to Bubbles. BB, I'm sure she's referring to BB Borelli. I'm assuming it's BB Borelli, which we recently had the pleasure of hearing on Sophie's album, right? She's one of Sophie's collaborators and friends, I
Hmm.
guess. So it's like she's building this world for me, or helping me imagine her world.
Hmm.
So
Just cramming a
yeah,
lot in.
yeah. So yeah, I like that about the song totally. I still prefer the original, but yeah, this one was good too.
I agree, and I agree with you that A.G. Cook tends to bring out the best in the songs. Um, I like
Hmm.
his production. So back to Charlie. So this next one is featuring Lord. It's called "Girl So Confusing." I don't remember this one.
Um, yeah,
Featuring Lord, so it'll be fun.
it will be. I will just say that this is my like top favorite, like the
Oh,
favorite of this whole remix album. This is my preferred version. It's the same mix, it's just different lyrics and with a feature. But the amount of history and impact it has on pop culture is massive, and yeah, I just can't say much about it. You'll hear it, you'll know. It's very
okay.
deep, very
Well,
deep.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's get going. Okay. Girl So Confusing featuring Lord.
It's
Oh,
so
and they have lyrics.
confusing sometimes to be
Yep,
a girl,
very important.
girl.
Oh, I do
It's
remember
so
this song.
confusing sometimes to be a girl, I was 10, someone said that, and it's just self-defense until you're building a weapon. She believed my protection, and now I totally get it. Forgot that inside the icon, there's still a young girl from Essex. People say
Oh.
we're alike, they say we've got the same hair. It's you and me on the coin. The industry loves to spend, and when we put this to bed, the internet will go crazy. I'm glad I know how you feel, cause I ride for you, child. Charlie. It's so confusing sometimes. I write for you too.
It really did have basically the same production, but it really was a good version. I liked that. Of course, whenever I heard the song start, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember this song." But I really liked this version. I liked Lord's part in it. I liked the way that the lyrics were relatable. I just really enjoyed that version.
Amen. Yeah. Yeah, I really love this version with every fiber of my being because it's just such a wholesome song. It's very therapeutic, very very therapeutic way of expressing your feelings
Hmm.
towards something or someone. Because in case you don't know about the history, real quick. So Lord and Charlie, like especially back in their heyday, had this everyone thought that they were the same, right? Because they have like the same hair and stuff, and they looked kind of similar, even though they don't. But some people confuse them, and they were kind of like feeling insecure about it, you could say, or Charlie was. And so ever since then, they it wasn't necessarily a feud, but they didn't know how to properly talk to each other without it being without it not being, honest, right? There's so yeah, this song was like their way of healing from that,
Oh.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
when the original song, on the album came out, there were theories saying that this is definitely about Lord or another artist, who I love, Marina, because even Marina has her little feud or little misunderstanding, I think is the correct word. Little misunderstanding with Charlie, Marina and Charlie, which is something is another subject for another time. But people were saying it's either Lord or Marina, and now when we get this version, it's like it gives the song this not necessarily whole new meaning, but you get like the missing piece,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it just you know, gives it a new breath of life, I guess. I think it makes sense.
It was a really good song, and I think that knowing now the history like that makes me appreciate it way much more.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
I thought it was a good song, and I hate how females in this industry get pitted against each other constantly. Um, you don't have Ed Sheeran like hating on Shawn Mendes, or you don't get the boys being like compared
Yeah.
like that or being pitted against each other. But girls in the industry, any girl who comes out has to be compared to somebody else, has to be pitted against somebody else. And it's so unfortunate. And I've hated it ever since Britney and Christina. Like, I loved them
Hmm.
both. Like, why do we have to have this feud? Why do people have to tear each other down? Because it really makes the fan bases so toxic when they think that their celebrity is having a feud with somebody. Oh, well, I'm going to go feud with their fans. Like, what the? Like, no, don't go feud with the fans. Like, that has nothing to do with you. It could not even be true. Supposedly, most of the rumors behind Britney and Christina were not even true. It was just the press or just their management or something leaking it, trying to keep them in the press. Now, Britney really did go through some trauma and some shit, but um, I hate how they pit girls against each other. And I didn't realize that they had done that kind of with Lord and with Charlie.
Yeah.
Um, so this song I give so much more respect to. Okay, so next one's called Apple featuring the Japanese House.
I've been looking at you so long now, I only see me. I've been looking at you so long now, I only see me. I've been looking at you so long now, I only see me. I've been looking at you so long now, I only see me. When you made me, you made me so sad, so sad. And you make me,
I like the
you're
layering.
making me so sad, so
Hmm.
sad. Somebody asked me how you doing and
Um, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. B2B. Oh God.
This is a totally new song.
I'm
Like,
so happy to hear that. If y'all go back and watch the reaction to the initial Brat album release, I think, and ever since then, I have had like this horrible hatred for B2B. I just don't understand how that's a song. Just don't. So I'm looking forward to what they're going to do to change it, to change my mind on that. But anyway, so this song, um,
Apple.
I I thought it was good. I thought that I wouldn't skip it, but at the
Mhm.
same time, I'm not going to go back and say I want to listen to Apple off of this one.
Yeah, I think the same way. I feel the same way. It feels more like a remix, with the refrain and the production, the layering of the vocals. Like it still had like new lyrics and all, but it felt like a remix, right? Which is not necessarily a bad thing. I just wish we, got more of a new song, kind of like with the other ones.
Yeah.
Because I really love Apple. Like that song, like has gone so viral, so viral. Like
Oh, has
the
it?
TikTok. Have you seen the TikTok dance? Anyways,
You know I'm
there's
dope on TikTok.
yeah, yeah, but I'm not. I don't necessarily mean just TikTok, but just social media in general. Because the the, the impact was so strong that it started on TikTok and it became this dance that everyone did. Like it was so it's another. That's why Brat is so has such a big influence on pop culture because everyone knew what Brat was. Everyone was doing the Apple dance, etc. Even
They had
Charlie.
really good marketing for Brat. Like they did really
Exactly.
good. Um, I don't know who her marketing team was, but they came up with some great ideas.
Mhm.
They executed on them fantastically. Like Brat has been an experience for sure.
Very much so. Yeah. And as I was saying, this song, you know, was so viral and had a TikTok or had a dance routine and everything, and everyone was doing it. And this or the lyric, you know, uh, that part of the song that has gone viral, that has those certain lyrics is not, present here. So kinda takes away from the song a little,
Mm.
but it's fine. But the song is mainly about like this fancy or dancey pop song is about generational trauma. But hey, everyone's enjoying it and dancing to it because this is what you do with music. You just transform um, these things into you know happy things, I guess.
It always amazes me how people can truly hear a song and hear the words, hear the music, but not put two and two together with the lyrics and figure out
Mhm.
that they're saying something totally not what is worth bebopping to, or that you
Yeah.
should, I guess, bebop to. But it's like the prime example that I have for that
Hmm.
is Pumped Up Kicks. It
I
was
don't
a
know this.
song talking about somebody killing somebody or running away from being killed or something, but it was set
Oh,
to this really cool vibe sound.
who
The
was it by?
production was there. Um, I don't remember. Pumped Up Kicks is the name of the song,
But
and
yeah, it's striking.
um, it wasn't a topic to be bebopping to, you know what I mean? But it
Yeah.
was set to bebopping music, so people just turned it into a bebop. And it was bothering me because I was seeing like these 7 and 8 year old kids singing the lyrics to this song. Run, what was it? Run faster than my bullet, I think is like the lyric or something. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is about killing somebody or something. Like, what? Um, so sometimes the music doesn't necessarily match up with the lyrics, and sometimes that works.
Sometimes, yeah.
But like I felt the same way about people just hearing a bebopping sound and listening to it, not thinking about what the words meant. For moves like Jagger with Christina Aguilera and Maroon 5.
Hmm.
Because moves like Jagger is about performing oral sex on a girl. And he's saying he wants those moves like Jagger. He wants to be able to move his tongue the right way like Jagger. And she's saying, if you want to know how to get me off, like I'll show you how to do it, but this is our secret. And this whole time, you see these 7 and 8-year-olds bebopping out in the streets to moves like Jagger, and I'm like, oh my God, y'all are singing about eating a vagina. Like, I
Yes,
love Christina, she's my number one, but I don't think 6-year-olds needed to be singing that song.
you're not wrong at all. Yeah, and see, this is why we get attacked. This is why music is brainwashing your kids because stuff like that. That's why we get attacked.
It's sad. But a lot of it has to do with the fact that pushing music and getting it
Hmm.
airplay is so important that artists try to come up with something that's going to be a hit, but then slip in that messaging. And
Mm,
if it was me, and this is just me, but if it was me and I wrote a song that had such different meanings than it did to the sound and production of it, and I saw the world go crazy over this song, but nobody was understanding the lyrics, I would be so pissed. I would be
yeah,
like, damn it. I put that
totally.
message out there for a reason.
I'd be pissed too. Like, yes, but I want you to listen with your heart too, right? But yeah, as you said, it feels like it has this double-sided reasoning. So like, as you said, like people would do it to push, radio plays and stuff. But also like it's art. This
Hmm.
is what art is here to do. And as Madonna once said, art is here to disturb the peace and bring peace to the disturbed, something like that. So yeah, this is why it's called art.
Yeah, and I am really enjoying this. I think I'm babbling right now because B2B
We
is
are.
next. But um, let's jump into it. Let's see
I'm
what
excited.
B2B now sounds like with Tanash. It is Tanash, right?
I think it's Tinashe, but
Tinashe?
I think it's Tinashe. I'm not sure. I don't want to. I don't
Well,
want to mistake.
Tanash, Tinashe. Please let me know in the comments which one it is. All right, let's get going. This better be better. It's only 2.5 minutes still. This better be better. Hmm.
I really like this glitchy sound happens at the end of every verse.
I much more enjoyed this one than the original. So
Mm,
much more.
that's fair.
Um, this is what B2B should have been in the first place. That that B2B track on the original album and the second album, um, it sounded like it was a sample just being used by somebody to make a song. And when you've got 2 minutes of back to 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 back, that it's too much. So that's my beef with the song. This was so much better. The back to back sounded like it had a purpose or a meaning or a place in the song. There were verses. Tinashe, I really liked. I'm glad she said her name so I could find out it's Tinashe. Um, but I really like this version so much better. So much, so much better.
Yeah, that's fair. Totally fair. Um, but since we're talking about it, and go to this isn't just for this song, but a few of the other ones that we have listened to is that even though they're the same title, and this one right here is the biggest example, they're not the same song.
Mm-mm.
Some songs are drastically different and changed, like club classics, you
Mm-hmm.
know. was so different. Like had the same sample, but totally different production, different lyrics. I think, and so I kind of makes me not want to compare. And this is where I come with my defense of back to back. Because I'm sorry, but as as horrible as that song is, I just like.
You are allowed to like it. Anybody's allowed to like it. I'm
Yeah,
allowed to question y'all's sanity when y'all like that original song, but
we're pretty much
um,
insane.
everybody's allowed to. But I do prefer this one. I wish there was no other one. I wish it was just this one.
Damn.
Um, but I really liked this one. It was so much better. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, and this song was good too. Like again, a different version, and gives it a breath of fresh air because it's totally different without sounding like a broken record repeating itself. I do. Shit, what was I gonna say? Yeah. So again, my defense with the back to back is that it just depends on the person if they like how repetitive a certain song, or sound is. That just is depends on the person. So I could have easily hated back to back if I didn't like that chorus, that hook, or that repetition. But if you like it, then you don't mind it, right? So it just depends on the person. That's my argument, I think.
I feel like if Christina Aguilera, again, my number one artist,
Mm.
um, if she was to have done B2B from the original album, I would have been very pissed. Now, primarily it would have been because it really does nothing to showcase the voice. And if Christina Aguilera is going to do a song, she needs to do something that shows her
Yeah,
voice. But also because it's just stupid. So I think any artist that did that one, it just and put it out as a song. If you want to do that and put it out as a sample for people to build onto and make stuff out of, that's one thing. But to put it on your final record and say, here's my track, I put so much work into this, back to back to back to back to back. But this one much better.
yeah, and I'm definitely gonna go back to this one too.
Yes. Okay, so
So
this up
what?
next, it's Mean
Mean
Girls
Girls.
featuring Julian Casablancas. Let's
Do you
see.
recognize the name?
Mm-mm.
Well, don't know who Julian or is it Julian or Julian?
Julian.
Yeah. So Julian Casablancas is, I think, was featured on that song from Daft Punk album. What's the song called? Wh- Hold on, was it Lucky or was it the other one?
Work it faster, harder, stronger.
No, wait, it's not Get Lucky. Oh, it was Instant Crush. You know that song?
Oh, I don't
Yeah, that
recognize
song.
the name on that.
You don't know Instant Crush?
I would
I
have to
wanna
hear it.
begin again. I feel like another day. Mm-hmm. Does that sound familiar?
No.
Well, um, trust me, you know the song, but I think that song. I know that song does feature him, but I'm not sure if it's just the vocals or there's something else. But that's the only place I know his name from. But I love that song.
Well, let's see what Mean Girls sounds like featuring them.
Mhm. I love that piano. Sounds just like Daft Punk.
This one's for all my mean girls.
Oh, that's what
This
this
one's
song
for all
is.
my mean girls. This one's for all my mean girls. This one's
Really beautiful.
It's a very interesting production.
Yeah.
And I love the vocals on this one. Her vocals weren't as shredded, and you got to hear some fun in her vocals.
Mm, abrupt ending.
Do what?
I said that was an abrupt ending.
Yeah, it was.
Mm,
Um, so what'd you think?
I like this one a lot. Um, like it's so simple. It just takes that piano uh, bridge, interlude, whatever you want to call it, from the from the original song, and it just builds on that and just goes from there, and it's amazing what they've done with it. One thing I want to ask you, since this was Julian Casablancas, all I could think of was Daft Punk. So my question is that a vocoder, or did it sound like a vocoder to you?
When he was singing,
Hmm.
I did hear something on his voice. What I thought was interesting was I could hear his voice and hear the notes, so I could tell what he sounded like singing, but there was a vocoder or something behind it. It was almost like the backing harmonizing vocals was the vocoder, or the auto tune or whatever it is. Um, I thought the addition of his voice to the song was really good,
I agree.
but the production was very interesting. It
Yeah,
was just kind of odd, but in a good way. It
mm,
was just different. I wasn't
yeah,
sure what to even think about the production at first, and then I
yeah.
ended up enjoying.
Yeah, that's one of the things about hyperpop or experimental pop is just it makes you think. I liked his. I really liked his voice, and even though it was, there was the whatever vocal effect it was, like it just elevated his voice. I think even more.
Hmm.
But I can tell that he has a good voice, regardless. I
Yeah,
loved his audition.
yeah, I did too. I did too. So next one is I Think About It All the Time featuring Bon Iver. I've heard his name. I may have heard songs by him before. I don't know. But
Okay,
is it Ivor?
I think so. I'm
Bon
not familiar with
Iver.
him, but I would assume it's
Okay.
Ivory.
Ivor. It'd be like over, but with an I. So Ivor.
We'll see. Maybe she'll pronounce his name.
All right. Let's get it going. Let's get it started.
Let's. Ooh, that's a bass.
This kind of had like a 1980s vibe.
Mm,
Very adult contemporary 1980s, early 90s maybe. Um, but the production was on point. Like that had a really good production. I love the way that
it
sounded.
did. Yeah, it did. But Bon Iver, it says that American indie pop band, so it's a band, not just one person.
Okay.
Which I guess maybe where that adult contemporary sound came from. Um,
Um, I enjoyed it. Um,
it's definitely a good song. Yeah.
I would go back to it, and I love how reimagined these songs are. But
Yep.
it really makes me wonder, like, the process for this. So I presume like Charlie goes into the studio and she records what she wants it to be, the new version, but she only records her parts and then she sends that off to Bon Iver or Ariana Grande or whoever, and that person says, "How can I complement this song?" And they lay
Hmm.
down their tracks or what their vision is, or you know what I mean? Like I don't think like Charlie writes out the parts for the other people.
No.
I think that it's given to them kind of like a rap. When they do a rap feature, they give it to them and they put their own rap together and add it. Um, so all that being said, the reason I'm saying all this is because I would love to know, like, did any of these songs come back to Charlie polished and ready to go? Like, how much, once you have that collaboration with somebody, how much of the end result becomes you?
Mhm.
Like this song, I thought was a very pretty, very cool, very interesting song. And I don't know how much of that was Bon Iver or how much of that was Charlie. Because it makes me want to go look at Bon Iver's music.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So it just makes me wonder, like, how much of that was Charlie.
Yeah, I think that the song was more like lyrically was more Charlie, but the production was more Bon Iver. And I'm only
Mm,
saying this because the lyrics we get from Bon Iver's met, not minimal, but they're not as personal as Charlie's, right? Because the original song, not necessarily one of my favorites, but it's still a good song because of the lyrics. It's so personal. Because she's basically, I think about it all the time. It's she's contemplating whether she should stop taking birth control. Since my my life right now is changing, should I consider this? But yeah, the original song is about her thinking about having a baby, right? Which this song merely hinted at. So if you want the full context, just go back to the original. So yeah, this song is just made differently to feature someone else to be less, more inclusive.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the times when, like, you hear artists do something, and like the Ariana,
Hmm.
when do you, as the featured artist, like, you have to have the confidence to do it, to be able to lay your tracks down on somebody else's and send them back and say, this is finished. Like, I'm the type of person who I would have to get in the studio with the person. Like I would
Yeah.
have to write with you, feel the vibe with you, put the music together with you, answer
Hmm.
questions, give each other opinions and, hey, this is my suggestion, what's your suggestion? I would want that collaboration. It has to be some specific type of person who can just take it, lay their stuff down and say, I'm happy with this and send it back.
You
It's
need to
just a weird
establish
process.
connection.
Yeah, I feel like you do.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why some of the best artists, like Madonna or Marina or whoever, like they get into the writer's room if they're co-writing, and they just lay everything. This is what I want. What do you think? Should we do that? Should have a key? Should do a little line. That's really says. What do you want to do? And this is the true this is true collaboration to me.
Yeah, Madonna has said before that she's not a fan of the way collaborations now work. She said
Mm,
that she prefers the old school of getting in the room and doing it together. She doesn't like the fact that she sends her music out to all these producers and they play with it and send it. And she doesn't like her
mm,
music being in all those hands because that's how stuff gets leaked. And that's how her
yeah,
vision and her art gets, leaked out and hurts
mm,
her, in the long run. Um, she prefers when they could all get in the room and leave the room. And when they left the room, the song was done and she had the track. Nobody else had the track. Which I can totally understand. After Rebel Heart, the way things happened with Rebel Heart, like that was some bullshit.
mm.
So, um, yeah. I wonder how many, if any, Charlie worked with collaboratively on these songs. Like, how many did she get in the room with?
Yeah.
Probably not many. Okay, so
Okay.
365 featuring Shy Girl is next.
I can already tell this one is not gonna top the original for me, but we'll see.
Starting off kind of crazy.
365 go. 365 go. 365 go. 365 go. Go.
I lied.
365 go. 365 go. 365 go. 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 Go.
Yeah, I could be at the club with this right now.
When I'm in the club, yeah, I'm loving that. 365 go.
Oh, see, this is why criminal 2 minutes. Criminal. This
Uh,
song could have, I mean, not necessarily went on the same, tangent, but we could have had more
hmm
interesting switch ups. Okay, what did you think?
I liked it. I liked it. Like, I literally could see myself jumping on the dance floor with everybody else, getting the whole dance club just jumping to it. Um, it had a really cool club sound with the bass vibe and the undertones that were happening. Um, I thought it was a really good song, and it
Yeah,
was very different.
very different. I liked it too. Again, it doesn't top the original for me, but it's still good on its own. I
Yeah,
just wish that we had more than 2 minutes
yeah.
because you're talking about the club. Don't come to me with 2 minutes. I'm sorry. Especially featuring Shy Girl, which I think is a perfect match for this song because I mean I guess you're not familiar with Shy Girl that much, and honestly, me either. But I do know that I've heard some of her songs, and her her sound is very clubby. Like she belongs at the club.
hmm
So so I love that. And we only got like what 5, 6 lines from her. Yeah, so not much to go on. Like still good, but I wanted more from Shy Girl. Like she only had a few lines. But yeah, it's that kind of song, so I understand.
That was an example of like when Charlie sent Shy Girl that song. Did Shy Girl say, "Oh, you don't need much of me"? I'm just going to do a couple of lines here. Like, you don't really need that much of me. Or does she go, eek, I don't know what to do. So I'm just going to slap a couple of these lines and hope it calls.
I don't know. I don't know. It's 365. It's a club song. I mean,
It
she
is.
should know what to do. But yeah, again, it's still good.
Well, good.
Okay,
I'm
so
glad. Is this the last
so
one?
this is the last one, and
Billie Eilish. Is it whispered?
yeah, it's Billie Eilish. So I guess whispered. But here's the thing. I think it fits for Billie Eilish for reasons you'll see now. Okay, so this is the last remix, for the Brat remix album.
Mm-hmm.
But there are songs, because because Guess is part of the deluxe track, or the Brat, and it's the same, but it has three
Mm-hmm.
tracks, so it's not, this is the only deluxe track to have a remix, because we had Hello Goodbye, which is the one you loved from the deluxe set, and Spring Breakers, but those didn't get a remix. So yeah, this is the final remix on the album.
Well, let's jump into it and see what Billy brings to the song.
Hey Billy, you there?
You wanna guess the lacy black pair with the little bows? The ones I picked out for you in Tokyo. I saw them when you sat down, they were peeking out. I'm gonna tell you right now, they're all I'm thinking about. I wanna try it, bite it, lick it, spit it, pull it to the side and get all up in it. Kiss it, bite it, can I fit it? Charlie likes boys, but she knows I'd hit it.
Mm,
Um,
Okay,
she
first
still
time you
has
first.
she still has a whisper. But it wasn't bad. She didn't have the same rhythm or the same phrasing as Charlie did when Charlie was singing. So it was a little different and it stood out, but not necessarily in a bad way. It's just that it's like Charlie when she was singing hers, she was singing it to the beat. And when Billy came in, she was singing it and it wasn't rhythmic.
Hmm. That's mainly because Billy is just doing her thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, yeah, and I think what she did so far with this album is that she brought people in, but she also like made them kind of do their thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So not necessarily didn't necessarily make them match like her vibe. She kind of thought that they already got her vibe, or similar vibe. So she just brought them on to do their thing, you know, because they already matched or semi-matched. I think that's the only way I can think about it. Do you like the original song?
I did. Um, I forgot what it was until I heard the melody, but um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I did.
Same mix. Would you say that you'd rather listen to the original or this version?
The original.
Yeah, my cousin didn't like this one because of Billy, for obvious reasons. I think I prefer this version mainly because there's more to it.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie likes boys, but she knows I'd hit it. Like that, I
I
sold.
yeah, I did. I love that.
And even though I think that you should have reacted to the video when it came out, now that you finally heard the song, we are gonna go back. We're gonna go to the video because you have to see that video. It's on the bucket list. I'm just saying.
Okay.
So we'll do that video. But yeah, I'm glad you finally heard this version.
What did you think overall with the album? Do you think it was worth it? Do you think this was worth a whole new rollout, or do you think that she
Yeah.
should have saved her energy for a new album, or like,
No, no, I think this was totally worth it, and I can actually see this being, you know, part of the whole Brat process, like from the beginning. Like I feel like she wanted to, because here's the thing: when the album first came out, I was like, there's not a single feature that is so unlike Charlie. So unlike Charlie. Then she started rolling out these remixes or, you know, features. And I was like, oh, I get it. And then the remix album was announced. And then I was like, oh, okay, so she decided to make it make them two separate projects. Because, you know, Charlie is all about features and collaboration, you know, from day one, I think. Or, you know, from whenever she entered hyperpop.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I totally see this as being part of the process, you know, since day one.
So if you want to hear Brat, which album would you go to?
Oh, the original.
Okay.
But there are a few songs like "Girl So Confusing," for example. Like that might be the only one that I would easily go to the feature version over the original because it's just the best version to me. Maybe there are other songs, but right now it's just "Girl So Confusing." But yeah, I would totally go back to the original Brat.
Yeah, I kind of like this one better. I thought most of the music really benefited from the reimagining. And I would go back to the original Brat from time to time, but I think if I was in the mood to hear Charlie, this is the one I would go to.
This one would be the one you'd go to?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay. And I think this all goes back to the marketing and the whole concept of this album because when she first announced the album and the title and the cover, we were like, what? No. What the hell? But it made more sense over time. You know, with the marketing and the vision, it made sense why all this was happening. And you know, this is Brat, and it's completely different, but still Brat, right? It's completely different, but still Brat, still the same, just a reimagined version. And this whole, you know, aesthetic and concept is just, you know, I think is genius.
Some
I'm not
people
the only one saying it, but yeah.
some people will say it's genius. Some people will say it's ridiculous. Um,
Hmm.
but I will say it was dragged out. This Brat era has been ongoing for how long now?
Since it started, and since the summer started, so like June
So
when the
June.
album came out. Yeah, when the album
Um,
came out.
so it's been an extended era. Like she's been milking it for sure.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that I was part of it. Like, I'm so glad that I discovered Charlie early on and that I experienced this era because it's, you know, what a time to be alive or to be a Charlie fan because, yeah, it's just tremendous.
Well, um, what did y'all think about it? What do you think about the reaction? What do you think about the songs? What do you think about the collaborations? About the process? Any of that? What's on your mind? Leave it in the comments below. Um, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great album. Like I said, I'll come back to it. And I am curious to hear y'all's opinions. So, if you want to see the whole thing, come over to Patreon. It's free. I'm probably only going to put up a edited version on YouTube because this has been over 2 hours.
Wow.
So I will edit it and get it up as soon as I can, and I hope y'all enjoy it. I will catch y'all on the next one. Thank you. Take care. Say bye, Bodhi.
Bye, everyone.
We'll catch you on the next video. Take care.